Robbie Wilson, Chairman CEO of Remote Trading Room LLC. Wanted to throw a brief couple comments in this morning and a little bit of background. At the end of the day, I was brought up if you have to tell somebody who you are, you're probably not. Also, my parents added in if you have something bad to say about somebody, keep your mouth shut. Enough of that. So, what this program is based on, as you've looked through, called an anticipatory move. Most of the charts that I show you go back 20, 25 years, and the duration will move in to up to 5 minutes, depending on the trade. So, what an anticipatory system does and how it works is I take the historical past as far as I can go back, and I really don't need to go past 25 years, and most of the trading platforms don't even allow you. That's why I mentioned in the past that I port things in once in a while. So I'm able to take that historical past and put it into what's called a walking forward. In other words, we can anticipate moves months in advance, just as I did in crude oil. As I said back in July 16th, we break the 74.10. We end up going up into the 91.52, and we ended up with a high, I think, of around 92.87 last week. And I mentioned it was overbought, and it will pull back. So that's how it works. It's an anticipatory system using the historical past in my proprietary methodology, and now going on 38 years. As you know, I was in the business all the way till 2011 and ran a long short hedge fund. And so this is how you anticipate, how I was able to anticipate, months in advance. Crude has a possibility of doing this, which it did. Food costs continue to rise. Here on the West Coast, for example, unleaded gas 91 octane is as high as $6.99. In Los Angeles, it's over at $7.12. More importantly, diesel is now getting up in the $6.50, and that's how everything is transported, by diesel and biodiesel, depending on Dominion or whatever trucking company it is. So this is very important. We always laugh. My old guys that taught me on Wall Street, and some of the guys in Chicago in the futures, is you can learn this in 15 minutes. And that was very insulting to us because we spend day and night at this, and we have for a long time, to be right. It takes a lot. What I've done is shortcutted all the information that I've gathered, and I thank God for my mentors. I had some of the best in the world, and partnered with one for 8 years and the other for 4.5 in the hedge fund. So at the end of the day, what you're about to learn as you go through my program is how this works. An anticipatory move where there'll be an entry, a stop loss, and a target or multiple targets. They go up to 3 targets, depending on how fast the asset's moving. And as it gets into the overbought, I've mentioned RSI, relative strength. The higher it gets into the red, above 70, then you can start to scale back your positions. What's happening now is what we call offsides. Everybody got offsides except for us. Sorry for my giggle. But this is common. Everybody's long, and the market is it's going to come down. With all the work that I did, and it's, again, you can look at YouTube, it's documented fact well in advance what I believe is going to happen. If I'm wrong, that stop loss gets me out immediately. That's what it does. And so when people get lopsided, or the trade, what we call, gets crowded, as it was in NVIDIA and all of this AI, it's bound to come back. And I mentioned the dollar and interest rates. People were not anticipating what Powell was going to say on this past Wednesday, where he paused in rates, but he mentioned that he's not going to lower rates through 2024, and that's why the market was dumping. He has to. He has no choice but to raise rates. I mentioned last time 65 to maybe 75 basis, and the 10-year is already at 517. So to get into what's called the restrictive rate, they talk about that, and I'll explain what that is. So they may have to take the 10-year well into the 580, 590. The 2-year is already at 517. That will probably go above 6. They like to see 50 basis points. 50 bips is what we call it. Above that, so that would take it to 6.5. Well, we're at 5.25. Help me with the math there. We've got a long ways to go. This is how the market and people get offsides that don't know what they're doing. This is a simple concept. The people that do not know what they're doing are writing checks to the people that do. And my director of AI will have a very important, the most important video we've done on artificial intelligence coming up. And hope you have a great week. And thank you so much. Remote Trading Room LLC. You can visit us at remotetradingroom.com.